The third thing that I'm promising to do is I'm promising to advocate on the part of the fair tax. If you haven't checked out the fair tax, check it out. fairtax.org. It will really, as the name implies, be fair. It'll reboot the American economy. It does away with all existing federal tax. It does away with federal withholdings from your payroll check. Those withholdings will come out of the proceeds of the fair tax. So it does away with income tax, it does away with corporate tax, it does away with withholdings, it does away with the IRS. It's a 23% federal consumption tax. Now, if you're thinking 23% federal consumption tax, you're going to add 23% cost to all goods and services? Now, yes, new goods and services, but contained in all goods and services right now is 23% tax. It's just not transparent. So a Coca-Cola today that sells for $1 has 23% tax built into that dollar. You enact the fair tax, and in a very short amount of time, Coca-Cola doesn't have to sell that Coke for $1 anymore to get the same profit. They can sell it for 80 cents. So it ends up to be cost neutral over a very short amount of time. When you talk about competitiveness with Chinese goods, imagine American goods and services costing or being able to be sold at 23% less. That's making American goods and services competitive. It's not regressive because it issues everyone in the country a $200 a month rebate check, which allows everyone in the country, each of us get $2,400 a year from the government, paid ahead of time. It allows all of us to pay for the fair tax up to the point of the poverty level. It's kind of an unavoidable fair tax that gets charged. Because it eliminates corporate income tax along with individual income tax, if in a business environment of zero corporate tax, this country does not, the private sector in this country does not create tens of millions of jobs, I don't know under what scenario that you would have tens of millions of jobs created. It will happen. So this is really optimistic. Reboot the American economy for the next 100 years and do it in a way that's fair. I was at Occupy Wall Street a couple of weeks ago. I share in the outrage of Occupy Wall Street that this country doles it out unfairly. And at the heart of doling it out unfairly is money. And it's people that pay money, it's groups that pay money, it's politicians that pay money to get unfair treatment, to buy loopholes from politicians. Politicians take the money and they pass the special legislation that doesn't dole it out fairly. What this country can provide is a level playing field that all of us can have equal opportunity to the American dream. This is, in my opinion, really exciting. It's the fair tax. It's fair. It's as the name implies. The more money you make, the more fair tax you'll pay. It will also promote savings. So what we need to do to prevent a monetary collapse is we need to stop printing money. We balance the federal budget. We can stop printing money for ongoing needs in this country. Because we're promoting savings with the fair tax, when it comes to the rollover of the $15 trillion in debt that this country currently has, it's a lot more Americans having money to be able to invest, perhaps, in U.S. treasuries as opposed to the United States government having to print that rollover. So that's also another component of all this that points toward us having to deal with this issue now.